What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk about Faraday future, tickers FFIE. Pretty epic day so far, up 29.56%. I'm going to go over some of the current data points, what's causing this rally, and if it's justified or not. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So like I said, 28.85% up, 36.5 is the high for today, 24.1 is the low. Tons of volume, so 64.03 million shares have been traded, 8.2 is the average. And the news that came out that is kicking all of this off is this right here. So Faraday Futures announces upcoming FF91 2.0 deliveries, including a B2B co-creation partnership with 𝗪𝗓𝗧 LLC. The only negative about this, it doesn't really say what the actual agreement or partnership entails, but based on at least what it does do, 𝗪𝗓𝗧, of course, if I'm saying that right, kind of matches. So luxurious, I guess, vehicle lending or whatever else they do. I think that's still a fairly good thing, but I think at this stage, it's overdone. So in reality, this partnership is just too much fluff and does lack substance. Like, investors don't necessarily know what this is about. Of course, it makes sense behind the scenes, but without those kind of finite details, it's just fluff. And so this is why most likely you are going to get a lot of volatility, and it might potentially retrace back down to at least the 28-cent mark. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. And Faraday, their clock is ticking, and it's very unfortunate considering they did a massive reverse stock split recently, and the fact that it's just tanked ever since then, it's very, very just bad, crappy, like I said. So 18.5 million is that market cap. So a couple of things might be coming up in the foreseeable future, as I've signaled in past videos, one of which is a potential delisting notice from the NASDAQ for being below a 35 mil market cap for 30 consecutive days, and similarly below that $1 bid price rule for 30 consecutive days as well, which is kind of ironic because that is exactly why they did that massive reverse stock split, to ensure it does not happen again. But December the 21st, mark your calendars, that is the 30 consecutive days below that $1 mark. So Faraday definitely needs to do something. And I was starting to look through some of their recent PR, and one thing that stood out to me was a lot of their insiders did take a voluntary pay cut in turn to buy back their shares. I believe it was for kind of a locked period for 3 months and all the other fun jazz. But if you kind of look at some of the SEC filings, the only Form 4 that did come out, as you can kind of see right here, are two, November the 30th and October the 31st. Other than that, you don't see anything. So where are all of these purchases? Did it actually go through? Did they just say that that was their intention and not actually follow through with that? Kind of a gray area. So once again, that's something that stood out to me. Obviously, I'm just bringing up the good, the bad, and the ugly, not to discourage or take away from this very positive day, up 27.7%. But you know me, I like to say it how it is. When it comes down to options, a little bit more evenly divided. So $28,000 in calls being purchased versus $23,000 in puts. So compared to the last couple of days, a lot more optimism, of course, especially based on this. Looking at some of the calls that is being purchased, it looks like people are anticipating for it to be over 50 cents by the end of next week. But obviously with it below that 50-cent strike price, options, more so puts, it's not really advantageous. So you don't really see that much puts overall being purchased, nor calls. So once it gets closer to that 50-cent strike price, then I feel like this might pick up a little bit. But when it comes to shorts, I'll give you an overview of what they are doing, because I do see some people on Twitter, for instance, saying that this is a short squeeze, and it's technically not, because shorts right now are increasing 423.48 thousand shares. 27.82% of the free float is being shorted, which is very high in my opinion. 15.28% of the free floats being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 17.9%, which compared to yesterday, it's a nice bump up. Through the interactive broker, short availability does indicate that there is 0 shares available to be shorted. So obviously it's not necessarily a short squeeze what is happening today, but if Faraday does put out some pretty substantial news, you never know what could come right around the corner, especially with very little shares available to be shorted. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday in the comments below. But moving on from this though, I just wanted to give you a quick update on the latest Morningstar report, which does show the fair market value for Faraday being $1.33, but the uncertainty is extreme. So obviously there's a lot of downward pressure with Faraday, like I said, with 2 potential upcoming delisting notices coming right around before the holiday season. So who knows? Let me know your thoughts on that, and if you think that $1.33 is a fair value for Faraday. And just quickly popping over for the technicals, with it at 32.5, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So of course, a lot of volatility because the gap between these fib levels is kind of wide. So 30.6 is going to be that next strong support, and then vice versa, 34.4 is going to be the next strong resistance. I wouldn't really count right now the S2 being a strong support, only because it did kind of break past that. So in reality, it's probably safer to assume that 24.6 is going to be that next strong support. But regardless, management definitely does need to get their crap together sooner rather than later. Like I said, I think today is the 21st consecutive day below that $1 mark, and yeah, it's just very, very crappy. So if they do have to do another reverse stock split, that's just going to kill any potential long investors that did get in first reverse stock split. So once again, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And give yourself a shout out. Are you bold enough to buy Faraday, or have you been selling lately? What is your take on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. So sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. This is only up until December the 31st, so take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.